podcast. I'm your host, Yo Discipline. Alongside me is Suhey Sotomayor. Um, yeah, so real quick, the audio wasn't great last week, but it is so now, so I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a little OCD, so I saw so much in the SD card and I deleted it. Even though there's 64 gigs in there, I just keep accumulating. So OCD, just like an iPhone, I just want to swipe up and, shut down the apps.
Yeah,
So,
I do that too.
but usually, like when things are about to happen, I get some divine assistance. I don't do it, but for some reason, overzealous, boom, deleted. And most of the shows are pre-recorded, right? I'm thinking, this is already in my Mac.
Mm.
I didn't really care for it, but then after I was like, wait a minute. Took me a couple of days to
Oh,
realize.
to realize what happened?
And I was like, I was sitting in the bed, looking in the ceiling. Wait a minute. The shows that I got coming up that I gotta edit, where are the audio for that?
mm.
Did I delete it? No, I didn't. Check. Oh wow. So now I'm panicking, right?
Mm.
So now I'm looking at a scenario. Let me get a solution. Let me get a solution. Because I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna lose this money that I gave Joe for the studio.
Right. Yeah, that'll be
Because I'm
crazy.
thinking quickly, let me just delete the video, do it again. But
Mm.
sometimes I'm looking at it like, yo, I gave so much gems that the second time around I might not be able to duplicate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, it's so much stuff that was said that was great. Fuck it.
And you were in
Let
the
that
zone too.
yeah, let them get the video audio.
Mm-hmm.
So
It wasn't bad though because I saw it and
yeah, but I'm a perfectionist.
yes.
I'm hard on
Oh,
myself.
I know.
Hard on myself. So, for somebody outside looking in, yeah, it doesn't matter.
I
But
didn't say that. I said it sounded good.
yeah, and most people won't think it was bad, but I'm looking at it like what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
It sound bad, far away,
Yeah.
this, that, come on, been doing this for 4 years, we still fucking up now. And not a good look. But sure, I'm human, right? It ain't gonna happen again. From now on, I'm gonna take the SD card and put it in the Mac, even if it's in the studio. Always trying to rush to get out of there.
Mm.
It's kind of draining doing all those shows, energies being in and out of me,
Yeah.
ancestors and stuff. It's kind of draining. So I'm just like, I just want to go home, relax, whatever, shower, get a massage, whatever I gotta do,
Mm.
unwind. So I'm kind of just trying to get out of there. So I'm like, oh, I'll do it when I get home. But
Yeah.
I think now I'm just gonna be strict in my mind and just take it and put it in the Mac
Yeah.
and then upload them there. And then at least it'll be there. So when I come to the H6 Zoom recorder, I'll just boom, like you know what I'm saying? I'm so used to it. Look, I'm going into GarageBand. I'm like, oh, it's time to put the limiter and
Mm-hmm.
compression and equalize this low cut filter, do the frequencies. And I'm like, oh, I don't have the audio.
Oh man. I would have been freaking
So
out.
yeah, so that feels great. I'm
Good.
excited about that.
Me too.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Let's get back into it. Y'all know y'all fiends, and y'all know what that means. Y'all back, and we're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy, where not everything is completely free. As we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see, but what is free is judgment free, sucker free, sensitive free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, and my favorite roll of blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversations prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast.
We're
We're here.
here.
About to get that work today. Stamina. Ain't no two pump chump.
Oh,
We about to get it in. Episode 170, season 16. What we got?
if people encourage immoral behavior, what does that say about them?
Yeah. Let's get
They
it in.
said that says a lot about them in my book. I think that if people encourage immoral behavior or bad behavior, it makes them worse than the people doing the immoral behavior stuff. Like there are different types of people. There are people that can see something happening and not say anything, just whip out their phone and record it. and then just look at it later or upload it on what's no those sites. I mean,
TMZ.
World Star or whatever. And then there's people that, see something bad happening and they just, keep egging it on. They keep pushing it to keep going, keep going. A couple of years ago, I know there was a thing going around about girls using vegetables in certain places. And there was other people, other females and males and whatever, encouraging, keep going to keep doing it. Like
I was
what does that
shaming them
say?
for that.
That was awful.
I did a post. It was like sapiosexual Saturdays. I used to do my hashtags
Mm-hmm.
for certain days: tied up Tuesday, Moreno Monday,
Mm-hmm. I
Wisdom
remember.
Wednesday, Wet Wednesdays, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Freaky Fridays, and I used to do sapiosexual Saturdays, which is more of like an intellectual post, spiritual post, and stuff of that nature. And I saw that and I commented on it.
That's
Um,
crazy.
but yo, most this generation is created from clout.
Mm.
Not like your generation or mine, right? They're predominantly engulfed with clout.
Yeah.
So they
How to
want to
look
be
good.
they want to be accepted. Like your generation and my generation, we don't give a damn because maybe we was popping before social media.
Mm-hmm.
We was doing certain things, whether it was me, I was in the streets, I was dealing with real dudes, what they terms they call now like alphas or dominants or whatever it is. Saw that growing up. Like we were like out there playing basketball. We were out
Mm-hmm.
there riding our bikes. We was doing like the generation now is
Living
engulfed in
life.
social media,
Yeah.
video games, whatever, right? Um, so it's a different mindset,
Yeah.
right? So we kind of got our validation from the certain accomplishments that we were attaining ourselves, right? Or words of encouragement from like relatives, family
Mm-hmm.
members,
Coaches.
parents,
Mm-hmm.
coaches, right? If we played sports, right? So nowadays, maybe they call them Gen Z. They're they're not really feeling accepted, so they do certain things to feel that
Okay.
because kind of acceptance and validation go hand in hand for them. I'm not
Mm.
saying that's like a true thing,
Right, right.
like they're synonymous or they correlate with one another, but they might believe so.
I
You,
definitely think they're more delusional.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so their brains are warped
Mm-hmm.
due to this stuff. So
Yeah.
that's a reason why somebody would do something asinine like that for
Mm.
views and stuff.
Mm. That's
And
true.
then those other people encouraging it.
Yeah.
So
That's
are
true.
you getting everything you got out of so
No.
far? Okay, so I want to
No, but it's because I know that usually when you speak,
I
you'll
go
trigger
in.
something. No, no, yes,
Okay.
you go in, but you also trigger me to be like, oh, when what
Yeah.
about
I
this?
didn't bring my notebook, so I'm gonna just freestyle.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna
I'm
just
gonna write it down so I can go back to it.
yeah,
So
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
just freestyle. So people who encourage immoral behavior believe in two things. One, it's in them too, and two, they don't have the guts to do it.
Mm.
It's two things. I'm gonna do women and men.
Mm-hmm.
Males might look at someone as a top G or high value, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but that man could be a pedophile. He could be a rapist. He
Mm-hmm.
could be a sex trafficker. He could be doing all these immoral stuff. He could have 10 different kids, 11 different kids in 8 different countries, but he's talking about high value this, traditional this. He's talking about be an active father and masculinity and men and all this stuff, right?
Mm.
And people are doing one or two things saying that this is my hero, mainly men, because they want to be like him, and not doing their research,
Mm.
or they did their research, found out about him, and they still like him and support him,
Mm.
still want to be like him. So that
That's
means that they would
scary.
be inclined to doing those things too.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
all I'm.
scary.
Like I don't respect a man like that. I don't care if you say the stuff I say. You just don't practice what you preach. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference with you and me. So I'm not gonna respect him. I don't respect a man who ain't about his word.
Me
That's
either.
just how I am.
No, me too.
So that's how I look at that. Now the woman's side, it could be like OnlyFans, and we could switch it up. We could be a man that's not shaming an OnlyFans chick. That means he would pay for sex.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he says he's a dom or whatever it is, or this real man, or whatever people want to say, right? These terms don't mean nothing until people come in and make and give them meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's responsibility, weight, choice of a king, goddess, God, and stuff like that. They mean nothing until people come in and fill those roles, because there's roles for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, right? Most, like, if the dudes are doing it, they would pay for it. The women encouraging it, they would do it. It's just they feel like they don't got the body. That's why they don't show. That's why they don't do that. But if I did have the body, I would be making millions. See? They don't have those morals. So in a way, that's why they would encourage it. Because like I said, I go back to it's in you, and you don't have the guts. But if you felt like, oh, if I looked like her, that would give me the confidence. So now I got the guts. But it's in me. I don't see nothing wrong with that. So it's in them. It's their character too.
Yeah.
They got whole shit with them. They would be inclined to doing whole shit.
I think there could be more things that's like I believe that by not stopping or saying something, that's also encouraging, like in like just a quiet way, like turning a blind eye. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that maybe their employer does some immoral shit, but they're paying you, and you need that money, so you stay quiet and you don't say nothing. But meanwhile, you know that there's people getting hurt, that things are not how it should be. But because your employer holds the strings, the purse strings, you don't say nothing. People like that should also be held accountable. If you know about something and then just choose to stay quiet, you're just as bad as the person encouraging and as the person that's doing it too.
Yeah.
You know, there's three types. And I think also that sometimes people push and encourage and like cheer them on, not because, for the reasons that we just stated. I think that that's just because they're just evil. They just want to see somebody get hurt, or they want to just see, what's going to happen. Like, you've ever heard of those people that say when they kill somebody for the first time, almost all of them say, I just wanted to know what that felt like. That's some evil ass way of thinking. You're gonna kill somebody, or you're gonna hurt somebody, or whatever, just because you wanted to see how it feels, or you're gonna stay quiet just because you're looking out for number one. Like, if you see children that are being hurt, being abducted, or being abused, or whatever, and you stay quiet, what kind of a person are you? That means that you would allow that a child that you know for that to happen to.
Yeah.
It's
Remember,
awful.
there was an episode. Damn, I remember these shits.
I'm like, what episode?
She came on, mortgage broker. We were talking, and I was kind of trying to make her understand about, well, if I don't say nothing, I have a niece. What if I have a little girl?
Okay.
So she was kind of like saying that the man should just automatically act right, even if the woman wants to. Well, I don't want to say this was verbatim,
Right.
but just from like what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she wants to kind of do what she wants, dress a certain way, whatever, the man should just have respect. And I
Right,
said
like
it
the
comes down to
strangers. Yeah.
could and should, right?
Yes.
Probability and possibility. But I
Yes.
said, if I stand here as a man and encourage that, I have a young niece,
Two.
I might have a daughter in the future, even though I
Mhm.
don't have kids now. What I don't say, who I don't hold accountable pertaining to the opposite gender can definitely affect when I do have them or my niece. So I just say that because we're on camera, but I'm like, you know, my niece, don't dress like that. Don't. But over here in the camera, I'm like, oh yeah, let women do that. Let women do that. It's the same thing as the guy, like let's say he's a dom, right? Who tells his girl to not be like that because women don't do that.
Okay.
But then he's entertaining that.
He's being a hypocrite then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. I feel like if you are encouraging immoral behavior and you know it is, you blanket it sometimes like that too. It's three things you do about it. You say something, you don't, or you blanket it with
Mm-hmm.
something else, like they should have respect. So you make them not have accountability. I'm not picking on the guests.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just using it as an example.
Example.
You make him not have accountability by saying certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you make them avoid accountability.
Definitely.
Like certain things like, oh, only God can judge me. I hate when people say that. It rubs me the wrong way. Yo, that's somebody that's indirectly not wanting accountability.
Mm.
And don't you hold me accountable. That's what they're saying
Yeah.
indirectly.
Yeah. You can't tell me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like when people say that. It's very weird. That's like a lack of accountability. It's like a shirk, quick, like a
Mm-hmm.
shortcut instead of going the same path.
Yeah.
You think you're still gonna get there? You take a
Yeah.
shortcut.
You're
You
not
know,
gonna get there.
So it's it's in them, I believe, and these are perspectives, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
of course.
Might not be true. It's in them, and as part of their character. And it's also they don't have the guts to engage, but they do
Or stop.
want to
Or stop it. Yeah.
or stop it. So it's just same thing like a rapist, or you're kind of encouraging that instead of saying anything. Like even a man, a man saying something is way more prominent than a woman saying it, especially pertaining to the opposite gender.
Can you give an example?
Because men are the first teachers. Men are the leaders. So most of the time, the reason why you see a 360, especially with women, is because more men have came out.
Mm.
And regardless if women want to say fuck love and we don't need men or whatever it is, they do. Everybody want to connect with each other.
Yeah, of course.
So they don't want to keep being single. Damn, if all these dudes like this, maybe I gotta do this. I'm not saying what a woman says is not important, but there's more prominence to what he's saying because of the leader aspect.
Mm-hmm. And women are gonna listen to men. Like they want to.
Imagine,
I mean, for the most part, we dress because and if we're single, to get the attention of a man that we
yes,
want. So we're gonna listen to, oh well, I like him and he thinks like that. I'm gonna do
yes.
that.
Imagine a woman saying, "Wait, ladies, put your clothes on." Women are gonna attack her. Yeah, you're a hater. And dudes like male feminists are gonna be like, she's brainwashed.
Yeah.
She's bashing women and all these other stuff. They're gonna be like together,
Don't
creating a
listen to her.
union.
Yeah,
Don't
she's
listen to
jealous
her.
of you.
Whereas if a man is saying it, even if there's a lot of women that are like, oh fuck him, is he gay? This and that. Yo, that's more. They're more inclined to listening to that, even if they don't agree with it. Let me take a listen
Mm-hmm.
to at least to hear what he's saying,
Yeah.
even if they don't agree with it. You see what I'm saying? So
Well, that's what happened with Mace and oh, what's her name? Eve.
Eve,
She was a
yeah,
stripper. They went there and he told her, "What are you doing? You can be so much more, so much better." She said she left that night.
yeah,
She left the stripper. So it's true.
yeah, man. Yeah. So it's in them. If they're gonna support immoral behavior, they're immoral themselves.
Yep.
That's what I believe, that like you can't kind of blanket it, and I think women do that more
I think it's
than
worse
men.
when women would do specific things like I know we have an episode coming up about uh whether a parent should choose a child over their spouse.
Hmm.
I think because women, we carry the child for 9 months. They live. They need us for everything, pretty much, even a couple of months after. I think any woman that can see a child be killed or murdered or abused and not say anything, not try to stop it, but agree with it, that is a whole different type of evil monster. Because you know what it is to be a mother. You know what it is to um to have the baby, to nurture the baby, to love the baby. If you could sit there and watch another baby starve or get shot at or get burned, there is a special place in hell for people like that. And I know you're
Mm,
probably thinking, what is she talking about?
yeah. No, I know what you're talking
Ah,
about,
okay.
but I don't.
That's a whole different type of.
Yeah, I don't think there's a special place in hell for them. I think you're being a little emotional. I think that it comes down to, let's be technical. Like, are they seeing it? Like, because some of these things you have to look for. Like those things like that don't come up on my news feed. You
Oh,
see,
they
you
come
see
up
what
on
I'm
my news.
saying?
No, no,
But
no.
but
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 I'm.
when I see it, I say something. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's be technical here.
No, no. Okay, I am being technical. I'm specifically referring to
People that see it.
women in that government that actually
Oh,
come out and say, "Yeah, we need
mm,
to kill all the babies too."
yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's some. Let's kill a pregnant mother because she's carrying a future terrorist.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm referring to. I'm not talking. I think I have my own ways of thinking, obviously, and I think that everybody who should voice negatively what's going on, especially in Gaza, but people that actually cheer that on, that's that's a whole different ball game, I think.
Mm,
For what kind of people encourage that?
mm,
Monsters. That's what kind of people.
yeah.
See, I told you I had so much to say about this.
Yeah, so, you know, same thing with the women that kind of idolize that type of guy that is doing those immoral
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
means you would subject yourself to that. Some women have like great fantasy.
Mm. Or
I-
some women bring other women
Yeah, because
to
sometimes,
be abused by that
yeah,
man.
yeah, sometimes some, like, and, we're not picking on anybody, but sometimes, like,
Right?
with those situations with those women that are bigging those type of men up, they care more about the fact that they could be a great financial provider for them, maybe great sexual lover because of their sexual prowess, maybe their status, maybe their good looks. I would look good standing next to him. I want to be next. Oh, he spoils his
Mm.
women. So they don't, the moral character is not present
Yeah, no.
in their mind.
Mm.
Like, they don't care.
Yeah, they're not there at all. That
So,
moral presence.
so it's the same thing with these type of guys, right?
Mm.
These people who kind of lack a soul, they're soulless,
Yeah.
or they have a dark soul, right? It's the same concept of what the woman is. Well, as long as she look good,
Mm.
so you can know about what she does off camera and her true character, but as long as she look good, right? She got the fatty,
Mm.
right? She got the bubble. She got the fatty. Like, oh man, like that is a catalyst for you to give her part of your masculinity, right?
Yeah.
And like provide there or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a difference though when a woman, like how we just said, like a woman that brings other women, or she turns her a blind eye to the morals of it. It could be also she does that out of fear. Like, all right, he's picking on somebody else now. You go instead of me. It better you than me. It could be out of that she.
Is she with this guy? Like, what scenario you? I'm trying to understand.
I mean, like she maybe she's in an abusive relationship, but he likes to have more than one woman, so they go out together. She'll get one for him so
Mm,
that he won't. He'll leave her alone. You know what I mean? Like
mm.
I've seen movies like that.
Yeah, yeah, you've seen movies like that. That's not real life.
I mean, you never know.
It's not common, to be
How
honest
do you
with
know?
you, because a
How do
lot
you
of
know?
dudes that
Movies are made
okay,
from
so
somebody's
so I just want to
experience.
just educate you quick, like even based off statistics. Like, look at CDC, Google some of these stuff if you have to. A lot of dudes are not approaching their women on let's engage in a polyamorous dynamic. Let's change our dynamic.
No, I didn't say that he comes in with that. But if that's
That's what I'm
if
saying.
he's
It's
an
not
evil,
realistic. It's like what you
but
said.
we're talking
Movie.
about people, right? But we okay. So, but if he's an evil person or
Mhm.
not a good person, right? And he gives that fake persona to get her, then the abuse starts.
Okay.
And then maybe he's like, I want that. I'm just saying maybe.
Do you know that?
I feel like I'm an author too, but I'm not. I'm just
Do
painting a
you know
picture.
that? Do you know that abuse is present because of violation of boundaries? Does that make
Yes,
sense?
yes.
So what you're saying with this guy is when you say he's abusive, that means he doesn't respect boundaries at all,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because if the woman said, "Don't bring it in front of me, but you could have the others," and he's
Yeah,
saying, "Hey,
no.
let's go get it," or "You
Abusive,
go get it for
abusive.
me," he's violating boundaries.
Right,
So he's
right,
an
right.
abuser.
Yes. He's an
Okay,
abuser.
so that I just want to understand.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's like
Whereas like
not
a
common,
man,
right?
right.
That's not common. Like
I
because
guess
you
not.
can't say like that happens all the time.
No, it doesn't. I guess not. I don't know. You're
Okay.
right. I guess it's not common.
Yeah. So we speak like this, right? We're not really saying for people to be saints,
No.
but there's certain more like immoral behavior that you should speak up about and hold people accountable for. But lately, right? For a long time, not lately, for a long time, people that do engage in immoral activities have immoral character. They don't have a moral compass. Um, they are idolized by a lot of people, for example, celebrities, public figures.
Yeah.
And some people may know that. What happened to the jackass dude? Is that his name?
Which one? Jackass was like
He
a
was like
bunch
a
of them.
dating coach. Derek? Is that his name?
Oh yeah.
Jackson.
Jackson.
There you go. Do what I say, not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like, but then he lost and then gained again, right? So they and then he got caught again, right? And he's still acquiring.
No
So
way. I didn't
so
know that.
yeah, he got caught twice. So think about it, right? The people that left and came back, isn't that kind of the same thing? So you're kind of encouraging that immoral behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
You see what I'm
That's the
saying?
same thing.
So it's like those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like certain people like, oh, they're your heroes or whatever. Certain like women celebrities, I wouldn't call them women, but female celebrities that have done certain things. Like, is Cardi B being held accountable for her telling that I used to slip stuff in dudes' drinks? But people forget, right? Because not everybody has an eidetic memory.
That's true.
I don't need to research this to remember. My mind is dangerous.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
lethal. But with people gonna Google now and see if I'm telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened? We
That's true.
forgive them, right? But if they do it again, we gonna be mad. But then we gonna forgive them again and still support that,
Yeah.
right? So we gotta understand that, you you are what you say.
Yep.
That's what it is. In Scarface, and I'm quoting movies and stuff, fiction.
Me too. I'm
But
keeping fictional.
Tony Montana is saying a man that ain't got his word is a cockroach. Remember when he was confronting Frank in that boardroom?
Yep.
So you know what a hassa is, Frank? Same stuff he told him. A plague that don't fly straight. A man that ain't got his word is nothing but a cockroach. So you gotta understand, you are what you preach. And if you aren't, you're hypocritical.
Yep.
Or hypocrite, we'll say the noun. So
Or a liar.
now, eventually, you're going to get exposed, right? So there's been things for me that has been tested. People
Ooh.
throwing like women coming in my DM doing this, maybe doing that as a test. Well, let me see if he is like this because I
Mm-hmm.
saw one of his shows. So let me see it, right? So they might have like screenshotted fake images of somebody, created a fake page, and then sending me those images talking about daddy, blah, 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 take me,
Mm.
this and that to see if I'm gonna bite. For years, it has been going on,
Wow, that's crazy.
right? I'm undefeated. You see? Even on text, I've gotten it through text message.
That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes what happens is women will do that to see for their sanity. He gotta be like all guys.
Mm.
So I could feel sane. Because if he is a god, that's not gonna sit well in my brain because they don't exist.
Mm.
And why can't
Because
I?
all men are the same?
Yeah, and why
Ah.
can't I get one when
Mm.
I've been living on this earth for so long?
Mm.
That's one. Dudes do that too. So they could see if it's real for themselves and they could tell their friends, you see, it ain't real. I
Mm.
told you. I told you, you don't got a special one.
She for the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you for the streets. Like, you see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's done like that so they could see themselves if it's what it is because most people are just out here not
Lying.
genuine.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very difficult for people who are constantly around people who aren't genuine and then they meet a genuine person because that's traumatic, right? They have PTSD due to that. So now when they meet a genuine person, they're skeptical
And they don't know how to
and,
act.
and they don't know how to act
Yeah.
with it. So they want to do certain things to like kind of like set them up almost
Mm.
to see if it's not real instead of things what I do. Like I just vet.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
why have sex on the first date?
Yep.
Vet.
That's confusion, I think. They're confused. They think if I have sex with him, it's gonna make it's gonna build a relationship.
Yeah.
Unless they're more like feminine men, they might think like that. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't think any man would think like that unless he is like
I think feminine men think like that.
no, I don't think any man would think like that unless he is so like has an inflated ego about his only value is predicated off his sexual prowess. Then he would be like, "Oh, if I fuck her today, she gonna fall in love with me and she gonna be mine and blah blah blah." Like I think a man who's there, most dudes are not great at that. So
That's
they
true.
wouldn't like I don't think a man would just think initially, oh yeah, if I have sex with her on the first date, she's gonna be locked in.
Mm.
Most dudes are not good at it. From what women's have said.
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? They don't dominate in that area. So they wouldn't think it. I think that would come from more of a woman perspective, thinking, oh, if I give it up, then he'll
Mm.
love me.
Or if I show him what all this can do.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
remember the old saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like women use sex for love, men use love for sex.
Mm.
The love could be I'm telling her things
Yeah.
that she wants to hear, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get it. And the women are like, well, let me give it up.
Let me.
And then I'm gonna get it, the
Mm-hmm.
ring or whatever it
Oh,
is.
let me show him what his mouth can do.
Yeah. So then he'll like think I'm the best and
Mm-hmm.
he'll be monogamous.
Right. And he'll only want to be with me.
Yeah. Immoral behavior, if they're encouraging it, they they have it in them to do it too. If they have it in them, they're most likely gonna do it too, or they won't do it, and the only thing holding them accountable is the fact that they don't have the confidence to. So
Mm.
either way, they do it. Just one person has the confidence, one person doesn't. Sometimes triggers would cause them to do it. So let's say, for example, a drug addict, right? They're sober for like, oh, I've been sober for 9 months. Maybe they lose a relative or something happens, a breakup,
Mm,
heartbreak. They go back to that. They relapse.
yeah.
Um, it could be a situation where the trigger occurs with a heartbreak, and now that man is like, yo, I'm smashing everything moving
And his boys
because
are
I'm
like,
hurt.
yeah, do it.
And yeah, do it. I'm hurt. I'm smashing
Mm-hmm.
everything moving. I don't care if she got one eye. I don't care if I don't give a fuck. But she a butterface. Everything good butterface. Put a bag over it. I don't care. I don't like he don't have no
Doggy.
standards
Mm-hmm.
now. You know what I'm saying? Or the woman is saying, you know what? I'm gonna give it up to every guy.
My whole phase. My girls
Whole
gone wild
phase.
phase.
But before the breakup, she would shame that.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the triggers I'm talking about. The triggers is what now give them the guts because it's always in them, right?
Mm.
If they go through depression, trigger, lost the job, whatever, gain it all, lost it all, and they could still have their integrity, that's their true character.
Mm.
But if they go through this and then it makes them now say, well, you know what? I used to sell drugs and look what it got me. I'm going back to that. Or I used to sell my body, maybe the woman for sex, whatever, prostitution. You know what? I need this bread. I'ma do that. You see, it's in them because of those triggers. If you have triggers and you go through whatever you're going through, sadness, depression, lost money, whatever, and you could still have your integrity, that is your true character. So
Mm-hmm.
you could always see a woman's true character with the freedom she has. And you could always see a man's true character with the power he has. You see what they do with them. See what they
Mm-hmm.
do with it with cameras off, nobody's looking. You see what they do with them with people. If they're a leader, what do they do? Are they
Mm.
supporting the whole team, looking out for people's interests? Like, what are they doing? With the woman who has freedom, what is she doing? Is she selling her body, posting her body online? You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could do whatever I want. I'm not no accountability, blah blah blah. Oh, now I got money now. Never had money, mad young. I got power. Now she on a power. Now she's
Yeah.
on a power trip.
Yeah. That's true.
Abusing it, abusing her power. You see, so that's her true character.
Mm.
All it took was power and money to do it. Or that's his true character. All it took was depression to do it. All it took was for him to lose it all.
Right.
For him to turn to that. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So the immoral character, if they're encouraging it, they are that. They have that in them. It's who they are too.
Yep.
So if you're talking about devil stuff, they're the devil. They got a devil inside.
Yep.
So you don't need to like be religious or go to church every Sunday for you to be like, oh, I'm so great. I'm so great and stuff like that. No, it's about character.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's always like, what did you come into this world with? Your name, and that's what you're gonna leave with.
Yep. I agree.
So if they're encouraging that immoral behavior, it's their character too.
Yep.
Why they won't do it? Well, maybe I can't do it right now because I don't got the money. So I
Or
can't.
maybe it's
Or
so
the
bad.
opportunity like them.
Yeah.
Or I don't have the guts. Or like the woman, I don't have the body. But I
Mm-hmm.
would do it if I had the body because then it would give me the confidence.
Or if nobody I knew saw me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's in them. That's what
Oh
I
yeah.
believe.
I
I
definitely
may
I
not be
agree.
right about what I'm saying, but
But I mean, I think you're right because how can somebody cheer on or something that's immoral? We all know what the word immoral is. That means there's a lack of morality there, and lack of morality. Those are big things. That's not just like, oh, I'm gonna kill a bug because I don't like. No, it's big things. It's immoral to kill someone. It's immoral to rape someone.
or
You
an
know,
animal.
or an animal. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's those things are immoral. For somebody to cheer it on. That
Or
hell yeah, you have it
what
in
about
you.
this? What about we're not even talking about homicide, murder. What about selling dope to kids
Yeah, or child trafficking.
or in your own neighborhood?
Yeah, awful.
Child trafficking.
Or bestiality. That's immoral.
Yeah.
That's awful. There was something on the news. Men were sexually assaulting chickens.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you think, oh yeah, chicken, who cares? But then when you like read what the description of what they were doing, it's like, what is wrong with you? That's
Hmm.
sick. That's a sickness and evil, and it's in you. If you could just if you
Yeah.
could just turn around or even just clap and go, yeah, yeah, that's funny. You're a sick
This
puppy.
comes down to God. And I always say that this comes down to God. And when I say God, it doesn't always mean religion that I'm talking about. It's a lot of like spirituality because we're spirits in flesh. You have God in you.
Mm.
So that's what it is. So somebody that doesn't go to church every Sunday or isn't religious, that's what I mean. They're in their divinity. So if you're in your divinity and you have God in you, you won't do certain things because you got morals. I've never stabbed anybody in the job to get to the top. Why? Because I got God in me. And that leads to my integrity.
Mm.
And I could have done that a long time ago and would have been promoted a long time ago. So if I'm promoted now, it's because I really worked hard.
Mm-hmm. Hell
Not
yeah.
because my parents gave me a trust fund or left me anything or whatever it is. So that's the difference. It's all about your character at the end of the day. Pick up little things as you're getting older. Like if you saw how your parents were, like if your
Mhm.
pops was a man of your word, your grandfather was a man of your word, your mom was a man of your word, woman of her word. If you saw that, you adopt that. It's
Yeah.
it's indoctrinated in you.
Yeah.
It's indoctrinated in you. It's now embedded in your subconscious. So you're kind of like you're looking at that and be like, "Oh, I should model this way too,"
Mm-hmm.
because you're observing that as a child.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you even if you kind of wasn't supposed to be in that path, it's what you were being taught from the previous generation.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of learn that. And then when you get out there in the world, like when the guy or the girl gets in sports, and then that's like their second father figure. So that coach that
Mm-hmm.
is teaching you that discipline. Yo, if you're late 5 minutes, I'm gonna make you do laps. And then you're gonna do push-ups and you're gonna do so now they're building discipline.
Mm-hmm. Awful.
Oh shoot, I know my body hurts. I don't ever want to be late again.
Mm-mm.
You see what I'm saying? So now they start to get something that's indoctrinated to them. You know what I'm saying? So they start building that integrity. So in a way, like some people do have it innate, and then other people, it's like taught from a young age, and then they just carry that
Mm-hmm.
till they get older, and they're stubborn with it. Then even if the times change and the world changes, they still remain the same. I think it's like equally worse when you're encouraging immoral behavior and you're engaging in immoral behavior. I think it's equally worse. But they don't have God in them. That's the thing. That's the
They sure don't.
staple.
Yeah.
That's the staple of it. They're not in their divinity. They don't have God in them. And it's a character. It's not a religion. It's not going to church every Sunday. It's a character. They don't have God in them. Because if they do, there's certain things that they're gonna see that they're gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do it. But if they could, they gonna hold them accountable, especially in their circle of friends. Remember that I told you the girl has whole friends,
Mm-hmm.
but she know it ain't right, and she keeping her mouth shut. She's just as worse. She's just as worse. Or the guy has dudes in his circle who are doing the wrong thing, and he's not gonna say nothing. He's just as worse. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to you might as well have pulled the trigger too, metaphorically.
Yep.
It comes down to that too. So even if they're saying, well, I wouldn't engage in that. If you know them, you're gonna hold them accountable.
Yep.
And if you're a leader, you're gonna hold everybody accountable who is.
Yep.
Because this is why the society has transitioned from traditional to modern. Because there ain't no shame nowadays. There ain't no accountability.
It sure ain't.
You know,
No
so that's
shame.
why certain people won't do certain things because they're not thinking, well, even if I ain't gonna get caught, there's certain people will think, well, God is gonna hold me accountable. God's gonna judge me. So there's certain people like spirituality and religion that keep certain people in check.
Yeah.
And then there's people that not even in spirituality or religion, if they do have God in them, there's things that they still won't do because that integrity, that's the
Mhm.
staple.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So it comes down to the women and the men of this, of integrity, of character. So if you're engaging in immoral stuff, forget about engaging in it, encouraging it, supporting it. Also thinking, well, I ain't encouraging it, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Mhm.
But you know it's wrong. And you kind of have even the platform to do it. You
Mhm.
have the platform to do it, or you have you're around those type of people, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
on a constant basis. That you know what I'm saying, that
Mhm.
where you could like make a difference. But you're just like, well, I'm not, because everybody's living their own life. Why
Mhm.
should I be the one to tell them how to live it?
Or like we said earlier, it could be the boss. I just follow orders.
Yeah, yeah,
He signs my check or she signs my check.
yeah,
Never know.
absolutely.
But
So
shame on you. If anybody does that, shame on you.
yeah, so
But keep watching the show. That way, maybe we can change it.
what, you got final thoughts?
Lord, no, because I can go on forever with this type of stuff. So, all I'm saying is that if you can watch something and not feel bad, like if you can watch something horrific and not feel bad and not have any emotions going through it, and just maybe encourage it or think it's cool, that you need some help. Go talk to somebody. You need to go deep dive into your past, into your childhood, and find out where it is that you got broken, because that is not normal.
So when it comes down to like the moral character of someone, this is what really like high value is,
The
that I
moral integrity.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be true, but this is what I believe. And when we can look at like valuable people or high value or whatever you want to say, it is when someone can say to themselves, you know what, I'm not gonna be a scammer. Yeah, it's fast money, and I could do this and that, but I'm gonna feel bad scamming these people out of their pension. I'm gonna feel bad scamming this old lady or old man out of this. This is value. You know what I'm saying? Because of the integrity.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with the job situation. Oh, even if they're not gonna find out about it, you know, I'm gonna stab them in the back to get to the top.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You know, the women that say, yo, I need quick money, and I could always revert to my sexuality to get it. I could make a lot of money within a month and then just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we had I remember
Mm-hmm.
these people, Michaela. She can't
Yep. She's
I
on the
don't
phone.
she can't yeah.
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, why did you switch from cooking on there to now adult content? Oh, the money, because of the whole visa situation and all that and whatnot. So I said, well, what would you do if you had a child and it was specifically a boy? Because this is real stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that young boys have committed suicide because they saw their mother online and their friends saw it. And as the younger generation evolves, right? There's so much more in tune with technology than your generation or mine.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true.
they'll be found. And instead of taking accountability, well, those kids are not supposed to be doing that. Well, what is their parents doing?
Yeah. I was gonna
What is
say she
it?
never really answered that.
Yeah. So if you have integrity, if you're in your divinity, that's why I said she's not in spiritual.
Mm.
I'm not trying to pick on nobody. I'm just stating facts. You're not spiritual to be led, because if you were spiritual, then you would have integrity. God would be in you, and then certain things you wouldn't do, certain things you would do. So in that regard, you need fast money. You're not gonna revert to the only thing. It's like, yo, that's the best you could do. That's the best you could do as a woman. You're already viewed as that. Of course, you're gonna make easy money. It's the best you could do. You're not better than that. You see, so that comes with not having integrity because desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
You know, and then now God is gone. He's not in you no more because now you're looking at that desperate time to do that. So now your integrity's out the window because of that too.
Mm.
So people engaging in people supporting or encouraging immoral behavior, pretty much they're not in their divinity.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Just to put a term to it.
Definitely.
They're not in their divinity. And
Not even a little bit.
they're inclined to doing the same thing
Mm-hmm.
if they were given that opportunity in a heartbeat because it doesn't affect them. It's like you're walking down the street and you look, oh yeah, that's normal. It's like every day. Versus somebody walking down the street looking and then they look again. What's going on here? This is allowed?
Yeah.
Not in my time. Like all this on social media? My goodness. You know, so I think it comes down to that. I think that's what it comes down to when you're encouraging the immoral behavior. Like you are immoral yourself. You know, and you know, it comes down to like, well, even if they won't do it, right? If they are encouraging, like encouragement come in so many different ways. Words, affirmations. Yo, get your bag, girl. Da-da-da. Yeah, man, you know, do you.
Not saying anything.
You
Turning a
know,
blind eye. Yep.
all of that is stating that they are what those people are too. So whatever in your mind right now you're thinking of them, whether it's scum, douchebags, whatever it is, those same people who are encouraging it, supporting it, or whatnot, even if they're not engaging in it, are just as bad. They're those terms too.
Yep.
They're those
I
terms
agree
too.
with you. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you
And they should be
if
held
you
accountable too.
support an adult male molesting like an 11-year-old girl, you know, 10-year-old girl, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. You're not gonna talk about it. Say, oh well, whatever it is. Where was her parents?
Yeah.
You're that too.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to for me. You know, if they're supporting that, they are that too. This is the dangerous part. They would be inclined to doing it.
Yeah, that's what's scary.
And what's holding them back is it goes back full circle. The first segment of this show, it's the lack of guts, right? So that goes in hand with confidence, or they're not in the position. Like, oh, I ain't got the money to do that, or I'm not in the position to do that. If I was given the opportunity, if I had the body, if I knew somebody that gave me that opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Like I've had certain things, all those things were approached to me. Whether I saw them, they was in my DMs, process. Oh, I'll make you rich if you do this. I'll do the. All those things were propositioned to me.
Wow. You didn't do any of them?
Nothing.
I believe it too. I've known you long enough. You're definitely a man of your word.
Yeah. So, you know,
There was even a moment people used to walk around saying, "Word is my word is bond. My word is my bond," because that's
yeah,
people. That's how serious back in the days
yeah.
that they took that.
And men really, really pride themselves in doing that. Like they were like, you know what? Oh man, I gave them my word. They
I
would
gotta
hold
do it.
themselves accountable
Yeah.
because they said it.
And also, if you didn't, then you'd be known. You can't believe anything this guy says. He's untrustworthy.
Well, you know what? There was actually more shame. You're right. There was actually more shame and accountability. That's why. There was consequences.
Yep.
That's what it was. Like whether it was society or your group, your circle.
Your group, definitely.
Your
Yep.
circle, because all your friends, your male friends would hold you accountable to that. Like let's say a dude had a kid with a woman and he wasn't taking care of it. You would get shame from your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your friends.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't taking care of your kid? You know what I'm saying? Or a girl doing what she was doing yo, girl, why you out here hoeing? You a
Mhm.
hoochie? Like, it wouldn't be, no, oh, I'm scared to, I'm scared I'm gonna hurt her feelings.
Yeah, no.
That's how they was back in the day. They shamed them. And that shame and accountability was consequence.
Mhm.
So it kind of kept them in check.
Yep.
Even if they kind of had a slight thought of wanting to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they
Yeah.
didn't do it because even if they thought, oh, ain't nobody gonna know, something gonna find out.
Yep.
Something gonna happen. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So yeah, it came down to that. So I think morals actually is an old school thing.
Yeah, because I don't think they don't got morals nowadays.
So if someone in today's era does, they have an old soul. And you got to look at who raised them.
Or I was about to say
Because you
that.
could look at a Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't know the term. So when you tell me the ages, then
Yeah,
tell me the names too. Like I
if
don't know.
you're under 30,
I guess there you go.
Gen
I don't know.
Z.
I don't know. There's so many freaking
So if,
names.
let's say some girl is 28
Right.
and
she thinks like
she's
that
extremely traditional, where do you think that came from?
from her grandmother.
Yeah, because social media she could have.
Mm-hmm.
So she could be raised by social media and then those feminist friends. But if she has a traditional household, that's being embedded in her. Even if she out there going into the world,
Mm-hmm.
she knows that she has to model that to a high level.
Mm-hmm.
She has to model that to a high level because even she's gonna feel bad about herself because that education that was installed with her probably by her grandmother. It's like, even if my grandmother's not gonna see me, I'm gonna feel bad about it.
Mm.
So it's like it's repetitive, right? It's what your brain is getting used to.
Yep.
So
And-
that woman or man is holding themselves accountable. That's why you talk about the word is bond thing.
Yep.
So he's holding himself accountable because, like, even if he's the boss of those guys, like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. I'm the boss. But if I said word is my bond, I gotta let my people eat. Like, I gotta take care of them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Do what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah, because he has that integrity for himself.
Yep.
So where did he learn that from? That's what it comes down to. So I think too many people are so quick to do what everybody else is doing and be how everybody else is. Because that's what's cool. And if you aren't, they're afraid of the outcome of it. And this is what comes down to, like, leaders.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it comes down to leaders. 85% of followers, you got about 10% of leaders, and then you got 5% creators.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the 10% and the 5% are what's paramount because that's what's actually influencing the 85% of the masses.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
crazy.
So that's what it comes down to. Yeah, it comes down to character. So if they're supporting that, they are that, and they're be willing to engage in the same thing. It's just they're not doing it because they don't have the opportunity. They don't have the body. They don't have the money. They don't meet those
Whatever
type
it
of
is
pieces
that
of
they
whatever
need,
it
yep.
is that they need. That's what's stopping them from doing it. But
Very.
what really tests a person's character is when they got all that stuff.
Yeah. And
You know what I'm saying?
And they don't change.
Yeah, and they don't change. That comes down to
Or
loyalty.
they change for the best, for the better.
Yeah, it comes down to, like, loyalty, integrity, your values, all of that stuff that change. Like, you get money today, but you was broke. Now you got money. Are you still, like, able to retain your character? It's the same. That's what it is. Remember, I was talking earlier about maybe the girl never had bread and power, and now she's a psycho.
Yep.
That's how she was always, because it just took that to elevate
out.
that.
Yeah.
You saying?
power
Because
hungry.
if that wasn't in her, it wouldn't have changed. Same thing with a dude. Like, now that he has power, does he change his mindset? Does he change his integrity? Does he change his character? Does he change how he is in relationships? When he said back in the days he wouldn't pay for sex and engage in with strippers and prostitutes, does he do that now? Now that he got money to blow?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? You see the difference? So if he does that now or she does that now, that was always in them. It's just
Yep.
they needed resources. They needed
Yes.
those assets. They needed those opportunities
Yep.
to get them to do it because
To
they
that
always
point.
had dreams to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
This was a good show. I
Yeah.
liked it.
All right. So once again, you ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real, no holds barred, colossal, passionate,
Most hold accountable.
yes, most unheralded, the disruptors of the status quo. You know, you can't lump us in with every other podcast. We're out of the group.
Out of it.
Out of the
Out
group.
of the stratosphere. Oh,
Yeah.
you like
We're
that,
not
right?
in the, we're not whatever they call pill, whatever. We're
We're in
not
a whole
in that.
different realm.
People try to get me in misconstrued with that. No, I'm not. Whatever they call blue pill, red pill, sphere.
Oh,
I'm not in
in the
those.
Matrix.
Yeah, I'm not in those things. I don't resonate with those dudes.
We look down at that. Not
So,
down like our down our nose. We're above it.
yeah, I don't believe it. I think that's like monkey see, monkey do type stuff. I don't think those are like from experiences and
sheep.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know, saying the same stuff.
Yep.
You know,
We
so
don't do that.
yeah. All right, till next time.
Peace.
Peace.